whatever is the long one. Here, I'll go in front of you.
Just make yourself comfortable.
There's room up here, Mike, if you can get here. If you want to get close to the heater, you can. I just told her that she can. Here. I didn't know how much they were going to do for pre-students, but I'll just.
Good evening, Hawk fan. Welcome to the Thursday night home game, our first home game of the year. However, we're going to turn it over to the announcer because this is the teacher appreciation and night, so we're going to let our announcer take it over.
Every day. Your guidance, dedication, and care help shape who they are on and off the ice. Thank you for everything you do for our school and our communities. We're also collecting a free will donation this evening. The Ramberg family has asked that any donations go toward a memorial scholarship currently being established in Mindy's honor. Thank you for your generosity and support. And at this time, please direct your attention to center ice as we introduce tonight's starting lineups. The starting lineup for the visiting St. Paul hockey team. At defense, number 16, Gavin Olson. At defense, number 26, Tyler Hayden. At wing number 4, Jameson Nonemacher. At wing number 11, Kyle Rickson. At center number 20, Soren Kreutziger. And in goal, number 1, Billy Vander Ardy. And St. Paul's head coach is Paul Ryan. And the rest of St. Paul hockey team. And now the starting lineup for Baldwin-Woodville St. Croix. At defense, number 26, Drew Jessica. At defense, number 7, Nolan Anderson. At forward, number 29, Lucas Kitzberger. At forward, number 23, Drew Burr. At center, number 22, Mason Rappel. And in goal, number 32, Landon Wienendahl. And the rest of our Hawks. Head coach, Lucas Trickle. Assistant coaches, Mike Olson, Craig Campbell, Jacob Sanders, Mitchell Larson, and Ethan Moore. Baldwin-Woodville, St. Croix Central, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. And now please rise, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America by the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? At this time, we ask that Minnie's husband, Scott, and their daughters, Maeve and Molly, please come forward, along with the Hawks captain, Dawson Wienendahl, and the captain representing St. Paul for a ceremonial hug. Minnie's spirit and smile will continue to live on through the many students and people that she has touched. And now let's play hockey.
All right, Hawks fans. Welcome to the first home game. Hopefully everybody was able to hear Mr. Mara up in the press box. He did a great job.
Yeah, he always does. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
We've done a lot. We've been lucky because before him we had Wes Haney. So yeah, that position legendary lives on. So tonight is Teacher and Educator Appreciation Night, and we had the ceremonial puck drop by Mindy's family or her daughters. And so tonight you're going to see a lot of the pink on the Hawks blades, just to remember and support that cause and that family. So it's good to be home. It's good to watch a home game after traveling all over Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's quite the treat to not have to go so far.
All right, we're going to start off. We've got Rappel centering Burr and Kitzberger with Anderson and Jascott on D. So the Hawks get into the zone cycle with a quick shot.
Nice play there.
Rappel scores, and the Hawks jump to a quick 1-0 lead.
Yeah, nice battle down there below the goal line and got that loose puck out to a wide open Rappel who buried it.
Right, just something simple, a little give and goes, and a nice easy shot on net, so that'll definitely get the nerves out. All right, here we go again. Sanders with the puck, dumps it in deep. Hawks go back to work. Same group of forwards with Rappel, Burr, and Kitzberger. Kitsy intercepts the puck, throws it out front, just deflected wide. St. Paul's able to get out of the zone, but loses it in the neutral zone. So the goal was from Rappel with the assist from Kitzberger and Anderson. St. Paul brings it into the zone, takes a shot. Wienendahl's able to steer it away easily with the blocker. Sanders absorbs a big hit in the corner, gets the puck out, but now it's going to squeeze through and become an icing. So the Hawks, if you're looking on our schedule, we're scheduled to play Highland Park, St. Paul Highland, I'm sorry. And this St. Paul team is a conglomerate of those schools. So you got St. Paul Highland, Johnson, and a few Central, a few other schools that are the co-op now. So it's a different look. Oh, puck sneaks out. Front. Puck comes through. The refs tend to just have a little bit of their, the orange on their sleeves are too heavy to lift right now.
Yeah, I don't think people would have been upset if they had been called hooking.
No. Hawks having a little trouble getting out of the zone. Good forecheck by the St. Paul Hockey Club. Now the ref is going to call the hooking on that. So apparently the previous one was too dramatic. So the Hawks will be on a power play. St. Paul will be penalized 2 minutes for hooking. And if you can't see it on the screen, we have a full house, nice and loud and energetic, especially from the student section. So right off the face-off, Rappel was able to take the shot just inside the blue line. Save was made, and it just deflected out of play. So another offensive zone face-off just on the blocker side of the goaltender for St. Paul, which is a senior Billy Vander Arty. Burr is able to keep it in. Rappel up high. Burr takes a low shot, and it's tipped, and it's just tipped out of play by Brody Everts just out front.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they'll settle into that 1-3-1 power play here or not. I think that they're keeping too high for now.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different. Try to create a little bit more opportunities down low by having the too high, but who knows what they'll transition to. Another quick shot down low that just got steered wide. Ian Philly and Brody Everts are in front of the net more, down low along with Dawson Wienendahl. Burr takes takes a shot from the point, and it sneaks over the glove hand of the St. Paul goaltender. So that is a power play goal from the Hawks.
Yeah, can I continue where they left off with Chippewa? With who did we play last? The last game that we played.
Up in Hayward?
Oh, Hayward, that's right. Continue where we left off there. 2 power play goals up there. We've got another one tonight.
Very good. We've got Campbell now centering Rhett Carlson and Owen Peach with Sanders and Jascott back on D.
Hawks at 2 minutes and 21 seconds into the first period. Number 23, Drew Burr.
Drew Burr with the goal, assisted by Brody Everett's got the first assist.
And number 9, Dawson Vienendahl.
Dawson Vienendahl with the second assist. So the Hawks climb to a 2-0 lead. 14 minutes here left in the first, so a lot of hockey left to play. Hawks chip it out of the zone.
That was a nice job by Pooch there to get that out.
Yeah. No icing. The senior captain for the St. Paul club is able to get it into the neutral zone. Burr is able to intercept it, but just loses it at the red line. So the senior number 16, Olsen, brings it into the corner deep. St. Paul with the puck.
Nice block.
Sanders able to block it. Chips it out of the zone to Rhett. Rhett drops it in deep. That was a little scary. It was a really 3-on-1 out in front of our net, so it's never what you want to see. Cycle down, takes a long shot, another goal! High above the glove hand side of the goaltender. That's Drew Burr's second of the night. I believe assisted by Rappel.
Yep, that's what I had on that one. It looked very similar to the first goal, actually. Right? Off to the glove side of the goalie from below the goal line, pass up front.
And just right after that, St. Paul takes a timeout, try to calm things down. Yes, booing our we don't condone what the student section expresses. I'm hoping they're doing it all in fun and jest. But back to the hockey. We got 13 minutes, 21 seconds here in the first left. Shots are 4-2 in favor of the Hawks. The Hawks are up 3-0. So the St. Paul coach takes probably a very smart timeout, calm the kids down. Plenty of hockey left to play. So in the Hawks' favor, we got to get focused and not get too lazy by any means.
Right. Keep our foot on the gas.
All right, face off at center. We're back to live action here. Pass gets deflected off skates, and so it's a turnover by St. Paul. Sort of the same thing happened to the Hawks, and now St. Paul comes in, fans on the shot. Brody Carlson comes around the net, loses it just at the half wall. Recovers, passes it to Burr. Burr skates through the neutral zone with some speed. Holds up, takes another shot, high, chipped around, and Kitzberger scores. Actually, you know what? Is that Rappel again?
I think that was Rappel, yeah.
Rappel takes a shot low on the goal line, deflects off of a defender's leg, and bounces into the net.
I think Burr took a shot. He had kind of a funny bounce. The goalie didn't know where it was, and there was just that juicy rebound sitting right there. And
So the home game, the first home game of the season, is going in the favor of the Hawks, by all means. Sanders with a good step up. St. Paul dumps the puck in deep. Pass around the boards, sneaks through, gets to the defender of St. Paul. Nice shot, just deflected. Great save by Vienendahl. Another block.
4 minutes and 12 seconds into the first period. Number 22, Mason Carlson Rappel.
St. Paul right now just trying to get some shots on net. The Hawks doing a good job getting it out of the zone. Ian Finlay with his speed takes the puck at neutral, comes in on the short side, takes a shot, and it chips over the glove hand of the St. Paul goaltender.
Yeah, it was a nice way to sweep into the neutral zone, pick up that loose puck there, kind of an area pass, really, and then off to the races.
Right.
Great patience with that shot on the goal, too.
Right. You know, speed really, I mean, is a factor, and Ian's got great speed. All right, so we got Campbell, Carlson, and Peach with Sanders and Anderson. Nope, Anderson. And I believe that's Brody Carlson.
4 minutes and 48 seconds.
Thrown off with Brody back on defense. I didn't get to watch the Hayward game. Well, the face-off will be in the...
Braylen Carlson, or did you say...
I keep calling Brody, too.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a running joke. I can never get his name right, so at least I'm not calling him Julio right now.
Right.
No, but yeah, with Braylen dropping back on D, give him a chance to see the ice a little bit more,
Yeah.
as well as be out on the ice more. That physicality he brings will benefit that D core.
Yeah, I thought he did really well the last game playing D. I mean, it was something that I think they experimented with a season or two ago, putting him back there. I mean, there's some of the technical parts that D get really good at, but he's got a good sense for it. So yeah, that's a good move, I think.
Defensive zone faceoff gets lost in the skates of Rappel, but the puck gets dropped in the corner. Rappel and Jascott battle for it. St. Paul trying to do their best to get some out front presence. Puck sneaks to the point, shot, and gobbled up. Gobbled up by Vienendahl, and there's just some pushing and shoving.
Yeah. I don't know if anything is going to amount from that or not, penalty-wise. We'll see.
Just a handful of tall kids pushing and shoving. So we got another face-off in the defensive zone of the Hawks. Just on the blocker side of Vienendahl. Dawson with the face-off. Shot from the point just goes wide, held in by the senior captain for the St. Paul Hockey Club. Vienendahl, Dawson skates out, good cross-ice pass. I thought the stick check would have negated the
Yeah, I thought so too.
icing, but
maybe they would call that a little bit closer if the score was a little bit more even. But
that's probably fair. So Hawks with another icing, so the faceoff will come down in their defensive zone. Quick shot from the St. Paul left winger, number 14, John Cornea. I believe he's a freshman, but that was a nice score.
Yep, I think that right off the faceoff he used the traffic there in front of the screen. I don't think Landon really saw that shot at all. Right over his shoulder.
Yeah. So very active first period here. 11 minutes, 8 seconds still remaining in the first period. Shots are 6-4 in favor of the Hawks. Score is 5-1. So we'll see how this game settles down. But again, right now, a lot of activity, a lot of action. St. Paul chips the puck out into neutral. Carlson with the puck in the corner. Reverses it back around. Anderson holds the puck, chips it back up. Intercepted by St. Paul, but Kitsy's able to chip it out into neutral. Puck goes a little bit back and forth between the squads.
Nice work by Kitzberger on that battle there in the neutral ice.
Right. Shot from the top of the circle from St. Paul. Steered away into the corner. They're going to get another shot here from the point that's blocked out front. Anderson into the corner. Try to reverses it to Rappel. Puck gets away from him, but Anderson able to get it back. Bird chips it off of the boards. He's got a one-on-one right now. Skates around. Out front, takes a backhand shot, and the goaltender makes a save. St. Paul has made a goaltending change. Max Johnson, number 29, is the
we got a delayed
replacement.
penalty on us coming up here. It's going to be on Sanders.
Was it the cross-check?
Yeah, we'll see if that's what they call it. Yep.
So the Hawks will go short-handed here. Sanders getting a 2-minute minor for cross-checking. It's pretty sad. You've been around a while when the ref knows you.
And knows that it was your kid in the box.
Exactly. Oh, that's a little funny.
Yeah, the hockey community is small.
Yep. It's not the first time he's called penalties on my kids either. So St. Paul on their first power play. They get the puck deep in the Hawks zone, but the Hawks turn around and able to throw it back out into neutral, forcing St. Paul to have to regroup. They lose a little bit of the puck possession, so the puck gets thrown back out into neutral. St. Paul's captain, number 16, Gavin Olson, regroups. Breaks through the zone, is able to get through. Controls behind the net. St. Paul just trying to find some open skating lanes. Try to pass it. Hard shot from the point, just goes wide. I don't know if Ian Finley got a little bit of that or not, but St. Paul runs out, tries to jam it in, and Vienendahl.
Yeah, really had the post sealed up nice there.
Oop. So 51 seconds left in Sanders' penalty. Penalty killers are going to be Braylon Carlson with Drew Burr, Drew Jascott, and Rappel.
Oh, got a delayed call against St. Paul now.
Yep, I'm hoping that they call the hook. Shot saved by the St. Paul goaltender, and the whistle's finally blown after the player from St. Paul touches. It's sort of funny, I don't think the whistle came. I think everybody just knew it was a delayed,
Right.
and they stopped skating once St. Paul got possession.
Yeah, actually, both referees had their arms extended, so I think they both had the call there.
I was a little worried that they were going to call Braylon with a holding, the way he went down, like holding the stick. So
Right.
glad to see that.
So 4-on-4 here, a lot of open ice.
Yep, 36 seconds for 4-on-4, and then the Hawks will get their second power play of the night.
Minor penalty assessed on St. Paul. Number 11, 2 minutes for hooking. 4-on-4 hockey.
St. Paul gets through the neutral zone with some speed, goes wide, throws the puck out front to a wide open St. Paul player. Rebound comes. Vienendahl's able to cover it after the scrum. And the St. Paul player fell awkwardly on Vienendahl, which
Always draws the attention
draws
of
the attention of everybody on the ice. So, new penalty killers here are going to be, or for up front will be Ian Finlay and Dawson Vienendahl. Anderson and Carlson will still be back on D. Braylon in the corner. St. Paul back and forth behind the net. Puck hits to the, ouch. All right, awkward foul by Finlay. St. Paul comes in, shoots it wide. The Hawks are now at full strength. It's 5-on-4, and they are going to be called for icing. So there we go. I was a little worried on Ian's foul there. I was worried that he hit his head.
Looks like, yeah, most of it was kind of on his backside, fortunately. But he does almost everything with gusto, and so including falling down.
It's a good way to say it. He's never half speed. St. Paul wins a faceoff. They run it back. They are shorthanded. Dump it into the corner, and they're going to pressure. Hawks are going to have to earn the puck, which they do. Burr behind the net. He allows the team to start a set up for the rush through neutral. Burr takes the puck through neutral with some speed. Has to curl back just to make sure they stayed onside. Drops it to Rappel. Back to Burr. Burr back to Rappel. It's stuck in his skates.
Oh.
Rappel gives up the puck, so there's a one-on-one. Shot. Vienendahl steers it aside. Good pressure by Evan Ship for St. Paul. Finlay takes the puck wide. Ooh. Had the speed, but the puck just got away from him. So neutral zone battle. Rappel with the puck. Passes it up to Vienendahl. Vienendahl over to Finlay. Finlay just loses the handle on it, so the puck comes back out to neutral. Jascott chips the puck up to Peach. Peach doesn't touch it, and it goes for an icing. So 4 seconds left here in the power play. 6 minutes, 26 seconds left in the first of a very eventful, high-scoring first period here.
Yeah. That would have been a tough play for Peach to make because he's kind of bracing himself for the contact and not able to get the touch on the puck there.
Right. Both teams full strength. There's a scrum down in the corner. Peach comes out with it at the half wall, chips it to neutral, gets it up to Rhett Carlson. Carlson is not able to keep it, but it gets through neutral. Campbell with a good job recovering the puck. Unfortunately, the Hawks lose at neutral, so they're a little bit of back and forth neutral play here as teams regroup. And then Carlson tries to tip the puck in deep, but accidentally sends it out of play.
This side of the ice that would have stayed in, but the low glass over there that goes out.
I think he was just trying to hit the hockey dads over there.
Yeah. Uncle and Dad are over there, so yeah, keep them awake over there.
Refs have decided to drop the puck right at center ice since the puck went out of play there, or near there. Again, Burr with an interception on the pass. Speed is killer. Throws it out front. The rebound by Rappel. Takes a shot. Goaltender with a great save. Another shot comes through. It trickles up and over the shoulder. The rebound is collected by St. Paul. They're able to get out of the zone. Oh, and a big hit. That's going to get a whistle.
I'm not sure if he was up against.
I think it was the turnbuckle. I think he just got jarred pretty hard.
Yeah.
It was a clean check. What I mean by the turnbuckle is right where the glass meets the boards, there's a small pad, and that player hit that going full speed. So
right.
That'll jar anybody.
Yep. And some of the newer rinks, they actually have that transition kind of a curve, so you don't have that abrupt edge there that you can collide with.
Yeah. It's not just an immediate stop. So the kid's sitting up. So yep, no, you don't. You never want to see anybody hurt playing the game. You want it to be physical. You don't want it to get hurt. So glad the young man is up, but he took a good jarring. So I would expect for him to sit for a little while. Face-off again will be at neutral. We got our captains up front. We got Drew Vienendahl, Brody Everts, Ian Finlay on the forwards. Braylon Carlson, Julio, or whatever we're going to call him tonight, along with Anderson back on D. Ian with a quick shot, just steered wide by the goaltender. Pass comes up high. Carlson's able to keep it in the zone, throws it in the corner.
Yeah, good decision there not to try to force anything, just keep it in the zone.
St. Paul's able to gather the puck, get through neutral, entered into the zone. Along the half wall, Anderson cuts off that pass. Veenendahl picks it up behind the net and with some speed enters the neutral zone. Loses it a little bit, but he regroups. Controls the puck and throws it out to Peach.
Hand pass. Should have been called a hand pass there.
Good step up by Campbell to interrupt that skate. Campbell gets through the neutral zone, passes it out front. Peach just mishandles a pass.
That was a nice look there.
Yeah. Pass to Carlson. Sanders takes a shot wide, but I think he was trying to hit Campbell's stick. Jascott throws it behind the net. Peach and Carlson. And Campbell fighting out the half wall. Sanders steps up. He's going to get a roughing penalty if he's not careful.
Oh, he just got one. I think he got the trip at the end there. His stick got underneath the guy's skates. And hard to say whether or not the fall from the from the player was meritorious or not, as they might say. But
no. And again, we referenced it before. This ref knows me, and he is one ref that he's going to call what he sees, and you're not going to change his mind. So I'll have to pick on him after the game, though. So St. Paul will go up on the power play with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the period. So Sanders with a 2-minute tripping penalty. Olsen for St. Paul comes out of the zone with some speed, making it through the neutral zone. Gets into the Hawks zone, around the net. Passes it across ice. Hawks are keeping the puck at the exterior. And a good stick by Rappel deflects the puck into the bench of the Hawks. So there is a whistle, and a face-off will just come on the blocker side of Landon Veenendahl in the defensive zone.
Yeah, another instance there. If we had had high glass or even glass at all, that probably would have sprung Rappel free there.
Yep. Veenendahl, Everts, Carlson, and Anderson on the penalty kill. Puck's going back and forth here at the half wall. Gets across ice. St. Paul regains possession. A cycle up high. Good stick by Carlson to keep that puck to the outside. D-to-D pass. Back to Olsen. Olsen with the one-timer shot just goes wide. And of course, when you take a nice shot wide from the point and miss the net, it's most likely coming out of the zone. Good pursuit by Finlay and Carlson. St. Paul enters in the Hawks zone, again behind the net. Hawks are conceding the exterior of the zone with little pressure. Of course, as soon as I say that, we pounce on the one guy and chip the puck out. So.
Yeah, they do play an aggressive penalty kill. For you hockey nerds out there, it's called the wedge +1.
St. Paul struggling to now get out of their zone with a good forecheck of Ian Finlay and Rhett Carlson. The Hawks are going to go full strength right now. Hawks are able to create a turnover in the offensive zone. St. Paul enters the zone. Munson steers him to the outside.
Yeah, they got Munson playing D now. He was playing forward in the JV game.
Yeah, doing a little bit of everything. Yeah. Senior utility player. And the Hawks just go off sides. So we just got over a minute left here in the first period. Both teams have somewhat settled down a little bit, but waiting to see what can take place with a little bit more energy.
Right. I mean, I think St. Paul's definitely adjusted to our forechecking, and I think we caught them off guard clearly there in the beginning of the game.
St. Paul wins the draw, wraps it around their own net, are able to get the puck out of the zone. Puck loose inside the Hawk zone. There's a battle in the corner between Braylon Carlson and St. Paul player.
1 minute remaining in the first period.
St. Paul dumps it in the corner again. It's reversed and chipped out of the zone by Kitzberger. Burr is able to collect it. Enters in somewhat of on a 2-on-1. Thrown out front. Kitsy with the shot. Just scrapes wide. Breaks back out front.
Oh, I thought that went in after a moment.
And there was a shot, went wide. The net went off the moorings. I think the teams were looking for a little bit of a penalty. I believe Kitzberger took a hit up high right at that whistle, but no call.
Yeah, that's tough at the high school level if you're going to be in that area of the ice. It's always going to be heavy contact.
Right. All right. St. Paul really speeding through the neutral zone, trying to take advantage of a loose puck. They're able to get a shot from a sharp angle, but Vienendahl steers it aside. Dawson bounces the puck out. Finlay takes a hard shot, blocked. Rebound, though, is sitting out there. Another shot, turnaround just wide. Brody Everett's behind the net, fights for the puck. Ian out to Dawson, and the puck is just tipped.
Nice defensive play there by St. Paul.
Yep. Sanders and Jascott try their hardest to keep the puck in the zone, aren't able to do so, so they dump it back in, and that will be the end of the first. And a quick recap. Hawks 5, St. Paul 1. In that first period, we had the Hawks were 1 for 2 on the power play and killed both of their penalties. So very eventful first period.
Yes.
And we'll get ready for the second. So we'll talk with everyone soon. All right, welcome back, Hawks fans. Getting ready here for the second period. I got to shout out an apology because most of the kids watch this live or feed or playback, and I think I've called Nolan Anderson, Ryan Anderson about 8 times.
You also called Dawson Drew Wiedendahl.
I did. So, hey, you know what? I'll just go back to their hockey names, and the parents can try to figure out who I'm calling.
That's right.
That way Braylon doesn't have to feel bad that he's not the only one that I screw up. All right, we're going to start the second period here. Sanders with the puck, rotates it back to Jascott. Jascott with a cross-ice pass to Burr. Burr takes a shot, it's deflected just wide, bounces out in front. Ooh.
Ice looks a little slippery tonight.
Yeah, it does. And we had a handful of slips right there on that forecheck. And now St. Paul doing their part to try to get some shots on net. However, a clean breakout by the Hawks. Burr through the neutral, takes another shot hard, just wide. Rappel trying to keep it deep in the corner, but Ian's able to get the loose puck. Finley wraps the puck around the end wall. St. Paul still able to get it out. Cross-ice pass is tipped, so that slows St. Paul down, but they dump and change. Again, in the second period, you have that unique situation where the benches are further away from their defensive zones. So you got to be a little bit more intentional when you do line changes.
Yep, it's.
And St. Paul takes the puck the length of the ice, so that'll be icing. The Hawks will have an offensive play or a face-off here, just on the glove hand side of the St. Paul goaltender, Max Johnson. Max came in a few minutes into the first after the flurry of goals scored by the Hawks, and so far has held up his end of the bargain.
Well, they waved that icing off. Must have been touched, I guess.
So Nolan Anderson to Braylon Carlson. Oh, God, that's going to be tough for me. Clean breakout.
Oh,
But
just
the cross-ice pass, just not able to make it happen.
and it was nice. A nice sequence getting out. A very clean breakout.
Yep.
Just couldn't make that stretch pass connect.
And Wiedendahl was only a few steps behind that red line, so I'm sure he'd like to get that back. And once you touch that red line, there's not going to be an icing called on you. Apparently something went wrong on that faceoff, so we'll try again. Sanders with the puck, passes it up to Wiedendahl. Wiedendahl out to the middle where Everts is able to get it. Ian picks up the loose puck, 2-on-1. Oh, the pass back just gets caught up, but sneaks through. Shot by Wiedendahl, just goes high and wide. Finlay and Everts are in the corner with a good battle. It's a 2-on-3 right now. St. Paul able to win that. They're able to sneak out of the zone with a good breakout. However, they're not able to go any further, and they dump the puck in deep. Sanders bounces it off the boards. Everts tips it into the St. Paul zone. They attempt to retreat, but Finlay's able to cause that, or cause a forecheck. Turnover, Peach almost able to get that pass from Wiedendahl out of the corner. Sanders is not able to keep it in. Carlson with a big hit along the board, so Sanders dumps it in, allows the forecheck to continue to take place. St. Paul chips it out. Nolan tries to do a pass shot from the blue line, but it goes wide. Owen Peach, Rhett Carlson, and Ethan Campbell on the forecheck.
Yeah, very good pressure by this line here.
Yeah, Braylon Carlson keeps the puck in, throws it in deep. Pass out front. Rhett has to turn around, use his backhand, and it's steered wide. Ethan tries to pass it out, but it's intercepted by St. Paul, and they chip it off the glass, and it's going to go down the ice for icing. That was a great forecheck.
That was. Yeah, and going back the shift before that with the Veenendahl line out there, when we had that play in front where Dawson had the shot, it just, for those young players out there, just shows why we like to have that trailer. Great opportunity.
Never going to know when that puck's going to end up on your stick.
That's right.
Rapper with the face-off. Puck sticks behind him, so St. Paul's able to chip it out. Braylon with a good job with his body protecting that puck. Keeps the puck in the neutral zone. However, St. Paul is able to chip the puck in deep. Anderson loses his stick, but he is able to slow the body down for St. Paul. Rappel now in the corner. St. Paul still has possession of the puck. Burr digging away with Rappel on the, or with Anderson on the sidewall. Puck finally comes loose. St. Paul takes a shot. Nice hard shot out front, but it's blocked by Carlson. And with the rebound, the St. Paul player is going to be called for tripping. So at 12:42 of the second period, the Hawks will try their third power play of the night, first of the second period. So the power play crew out there for the Hawks will be Ian Finley at center. Dawson Veenendahl along with Brody Everts up front. Then you got Drew Burr and Rappel back on the D. One-timer from Burr is just deflected wide. Dawson chips it off the net. St. Paul's not able to get it out. Gloved and dropped by Burr. Rappel takes a hard shot. It's blocked. Puck goes in the corner. He retrieves the puck, avoids a big hit. Brody helps out with the puck. Rappel in the corner right out front. Brody just misses. Veenendahl at the half wall dumps the puck in deep. St. Paul attempts to get the puck, but Drew's able to keep it in. Takes a shot low. Save is redirected in the corner where Finlay drops it down low. Everett cycles high, passes it up to Rappel at the point. A little messy with the back and forth passing, so St. Paul's able to get the puck, but Burr is able to keep it in over to Veenendahl. Oh, good attack by the St. Paul defender. Is able to get the puck and chip it out of the zone, but they're not going to be able to change their whole squad. Rappel through the neutral zone, loses the puck, but it comes right onto Dawson's stick. Puck goes a little bit back and forth where Finley's able to feed it out front. Rappel takes a shot, and a good stick deflection causes the puck to go out of play, and that had goal written all over it.
It did. That was a really nice look. That was right in the wheelhouse, right where you want to be shooting from. Good defensive play by St. Paul.
Half a minute left in the power play for the Hawks. Second power play group is out there. We got Anderson, Sanders, and Kitzberger up front with Jascott and Carlson back on D. Puck's wrapped around. Carlson's able to keep it low. Anderson and Kitzberger fight for the pucks. Comes over to Sanders. Sanders loses that battle. I think he got away with a little bit of a trip. But Jascott with the puck, shot up high, deflected off of Anderson's shin pad just wide, and St. Paul picks up the puck, sends it the length of the ice. Aggressive forechecking by St. Paul.
For a moment there, I thought Landon was going to go cross ice with that, and I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah. Nice patience by our goaltender. Nice hip check by the St. Paul defender. However, the puck comes right back out to Braylon. Braylon's not able to pull the trigger, so St. Paul's at full strength. They were able to kill off that penalty. Now they come in the zone with some speed. Wrap around the net, passes it up high. One-time shot is blocked by Kitzberger. He's able to get it out of the zone.
Yeah, he's still smarting from that one a little bit.
Yeah, wincing from pain a little bit. Sanders on the forecheck. Jascott regroups the puck, allows the forwards to change, so we actually have a standard line out there. Peach takes the puck, deflects off of his stick to Anderson. Campbell trying to get the puck in deep, has to fight off the defenders. St. Paul with a little bit of a jump in their step. They're able to throw the puck into the zone. Jascott loses his stick. Oh, and the puck hops the stick of the St. Paul defender, so no shot. Carlson on the forecheck. Good trap in the corner where Carlson is battling. Puck comes out front, it's tipped. Rebound is shot, and it's steered aside. Oh, and Peach with a tip out front that almost saw the back of the net. Socorro was able to gain access to the puck, but he loses it at neutral, and St. Paul dumps it in deep. Cross-ice pass is intercepted. St. Paul drives the zone, takes a shot from the outside, and Vienendahl steers that away. Campbell attempts to break it out, tries to get to the Peach, just failed to click. Puck is shot wide off the dasher, and it's going to come down, so St. Paul has to regroup, allows all 5 Hawks to change. And again, that's always dangerous when you're dealing with that second period change. Jascott attempted to try to get that puck deep in the neutral. Passes it over to Sanders. Puck tips over his stick, and St. Paul's able to keep it in the zone until Dawson Vienendahl chips it through the neutral zone. Not going to be icing with Finlay's speed on the puck. St. Paul throws it out. Jascott throws it deep into the zone. Vienendahl tries a pass, but it's deflected off of St. Paul. Everts takes the puck, calms it down just with the stick check, loses it, but it's going to end up in the zone, and it was called offsides. I don't know if Vienendahl was offsides still or not.
Right, I was a little perplexed by the whistle there, but we were a little disjointed anyway, so maybe that was in our favor after all.
Right. Carlson with the puck takes a shot at the net, but it was blocked. Hawks are still able to keep the zone, so Anderson fires it deep. Burr and Rappel pursue. Rappel gets the puck at the half wall, turns around, shoots it wide. St. Paul doing its best to chip it out of the zone. They're able to do so. Carlson slows it down. Rappel's back check is able to body check that player off the puck, so now we're going to come back with a 3-on-3. Rappel loses his footing, but he's still able to get it to Burr. Burr takes a hard shot, saved by the goaltender. And Kitsy with the collision of the defender.
Oh, looks like he's getting called here, I think. Oh, unsportsmanlike, I believe.
Unsportsmanlike, where he threw the net off the moorings.
I don't know if that was...
I don't know if that's a need for a misconduct penalty, but if he's pushed into it.
Yeah, I didn't see that sequence there involving the goal, but
Ref saw it as
being a foul of the rules.
Yeah. Felt it was a delay of game of some sort, but so 7 minutes, 12 seconds left in the second. Shots have drastically reduced compared to the beginning of the first period. Shots on net are 11-10 in favor of the Hawks. Score is 5-1 in favor of our Hawks. However, we're going to be having to serve a 2-minute minor. I believe the ref and the coaching staff of the Hawks are talking about why that's considered a penalty. I don't think anything more is to come of it. 2-minute minor. So St. Paul will have to...
Great block by Everts there.
Yeah, they'll have to do their best to try to get back in this game. Brody with the block, but he refuses to get off the ice. I like that.
29, delay of game.
Vienendahl with good stick placement slows the St. Paul advance into the zone. Brody loses his stick. He has to gain that back. Does so. As Drew does a great job fighting in the corner for the puck and ended up winning the battle where Sanders is able to get the puck and throw it deep in the zone and kill some time off.
And I like that he threw it to the opposite corner, so it kind of died down there.
Yeah. Good forecheck by Burr. Rappel stops the progress in the neutral zone. St. Paul eventually gets through. Hand stop by the senior captain for St. Paul. Takes a shot and it's deflected high and out of play. So just under a minute left in the penalty kill for the Hawks. Killers for this portion of the penalty will be Ian Finley with, I think that's Nolan on the far side, Braylon Carlson and Rhett Carlson. Dangerous hit by Rhett.
He got called for that one.
Yeah, he got called for another penalty. It's tough. Kid rotated around after, being physical, but
yeah, I think maybe the part that threw that over the edge was that he had his stick up off the ice.
Yeah. And it was body contact. So he's going to get a 2-minute cross-checking penalty.
Yeah, I was just gonna, right before that happened, I was just going to comment on how I was impressed with Rhett Carlson's aggressive play, but that's
a little too aggressive.
Right, it's certainly a something that you have to temper.
So for 32 seconds here 32 seconds left in our first penalty, so it'll be a 5-on-3 for that amount of time.
And they're taking a timeout here to talk this over.
Yeah, as a coach, you're like, hey, let's not get this game. I mean, it's in our control. Let's not lose it after a couple bad penalties. And
yeah, I think if we're able to survive this and maybe put another one on the board, that would probably demoralize St. Paul.
Yep. Yep, definitely enough for them to maybe just want to mail it home for the rest of the game. But you know what? We'll have to see what happens here. As a player, it's also nice to know that you got Landon in nets. So
yeah, he's as cool as they come.
It's nice to have a goaltender that can make good plays to cover your mistakes. So we'll see here who's on the penalty kill first. It looks like we've got Vienendahl, Jascott, and Anderson.
Yeah, so here I think they just want to keep everything to the outside and not be too aggressive, and then get that puck out whenever the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. Vienendahl just pushes it forward, stopped by the St. Paul defense. St. Paul keeping the puck right now to the outside, looking for that good passing shooting lane. Cross ice. They get a shot, but I don't know if that was actually on net. It was the side of the net.
Right.
Come out from the bottom of the circle, take a shot that's high and wide. Cycle up front, or at the point, cross ice pass. Gets thrown up front. Oh, I don't know who stopped that. Was that Vienendahl?
I'm not sure. I was expecting that puck to be in the back of the net.
Right. They St. Paul had a successful cross ice pass, sort of the Ovechkin play. And I think Vienendahl saved it. Now we got a 2-on-1. Oh, and Vienendahl just missed it. Dawson, that is. He passes it up. Jascott takes a shot, but it's blocked. Finlay continues to work inside. I don't know about you, Dad, but that looked like a little bit of a flop. But yeah,
like I said, he does everything with gusto.
However, that forecheck causes St. Paul to throw out the length of the ice, so they will be called for icing. So 4 minutes, 32 seconds left in the second period. 48 seconds left in the penalty to Rhett Carlson.
Yeah, I think Ian was now having a follow-up conversation with the ref. I mean, it looked like the defender did have a stick up high along the neck.
Sort of giving the old, hey, keep an eye out for this. Rappo with the faceoff actually gains access to the puck. Carlson's shot is just tipped wide, so St. Paul now is able to attempt for their power play to start. The puck's turned over. Rappo out front, backhand, cross the grain just wide. So Burr is sort of just allowing St. Paul to waste time in their defensive zone. Sanders chips the puck to Burr. Burr over to Rappo. Rappo 1-on-4. Causing St. Paul to rush their passes, which allows them to mess up a little bit more. Sanders pinches in, keeps the puck in, quickly retreats back to neutral. Carlson does a great job holding the blue line, and the Hawks are now at full strength. Carlson up to Carlson.
That was good. We weathered that 5-on-3 well. There was a couple of good chances there I thought might have gone in, but here we are back at full strength. No harm done.
Yeah, Burr with a shot at the top of the key, and it's steered aside, so battle in the corner. Drew is able to get away. Passes to Campbell right at the side of the net, and I think that surprised Campbell on how open he was going to be. Unable to get that clean shot off. Jascott dumps the puck deep into the zone. The forecheck continues. Puck gets out to the neutral zone where Anderson and Jascott are able to regroup. Up to Finlay. Finlay just loses the handle of the puck. St. Paul's able to get into the zone. Takes a nice low shot, but it goes wide. But it comes out of the zone where Finlay throws it out front. Good back checking by St. Paul takes away that passing lane, and they're able to get out of the zone.
Nice back check by Dawson there.
He gets a pass from his brother. Good outlet pass. But we lose it in neutral. So St. Paul's able to dump it in deep where Sanders has to recover. Reverses it back to Jascott. Jascott chips it out into the neutral zone. Sanders steps up on that puck that was tipped at the blue line.
Going to stay disciplined here. Yep. Got all of our guys on one side of the ice.
Good strong pass up to Brody Everett. Tried to break him for a breakaway. Does it again. The All-State receiver drops the puck out in front. Does everything he can to try to get that goal, and just didn't work for him on that one. Jascott with speed through the neutral zone. Absorbs the puck, leaves it for Burr. Burr avoids a big hit, but his pass deflects off a skate and comes into the neutral zone. So Burr regroups through neutral, gets some speed. St. Paul's trying to slow us down at the blue line, but it's not working.
Yeah, we're going to get called here. I thought that was kind of just battling for position there with that puck coming into play, but they didn't see it that way.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that call because he's trying to get a tip in for a goal.
Right.
And he's just bigger and stronger in that position. So,
right.
Yeah.
I would be apt to characterize that as a collision rather than a penalty, but that's not how it went down.
Well, when the coaching staff and the kids watch this back, they'll be able to see it and determine. So the face-off will come all the way back into the Hawks' defensive zone as we have to kill off another penalty. St. Paul gets the puck right off the face-off, takes a shot, but it trickles wide after Vienendahl's save. St. Paul's going to have to retreat behind their net, try to set things up. Finlay, Vienendahl, Anderson, and Jascott are out there to kill off the penalty. I chuckle if you watch it out and replay, but very proud of Anderson's play just out in front there. I think he cleared the front of the net just like he was taught. So 35 seconds left here in the second period. We'll have to use the rest of this period.
Was he using the Sanders special
yes.
tactic there? Yeah.
Yes, he was. So very effective. Didn't get a penalty, and that's how you do it. Oh, Burr on the breakaway. Puck bouncing. Good save. Just unable to get that puck to stop bouncing on him. Oh, Vienendahl takes the puck off of Sanders. Ooh. Sanders winds up, takes it off of another player, and loses his stick. So 5 seconds left in the period. 4, 3. And Burr actually takes a shot from neutral that stunned the goaltender floating. But all right, so that is the end of the second. Score still the same, 5-1. Hawks are in the midst of killing off their 5th penalty. And again, an entertaining second period. Maybe a little bit too many penalties, but
right. I always feel like the second period is more disjointed, and I think part of it's that long change, and it's just maybe they'll tighten it up here the third period.
Right. Well, just like our great friend Dan Dietzman said, we'll see you in a few.
See ya.
All right, welcome back, Hawks fans. Just starting the third period here. Of course, the Hawks are still shorthanded. They got 47 seconds to kill.
It'll be nice to see a cleaner period here.
Dawson Vienendahl off the face-off, takes a good hit by Brody. St. Paul throws the puck into the zone. Sanders on the half wall. Loses it in the corner. However, the skaters behind the net battling more of the sticky ice. St. Paul to the top of the key. Takes a low shot. Vienendahl's not able to see it, and with 17 seconds left in that penalty, St. Paul's able to take advantage of that. So the captain, senior captain for the St. Paul Hockey Club, scores their second goal of the night.
Looked like Landon was complaining to the official that somebody was in the crease, but to no avail.
Right. Well, definitely something we can't recover from, but for special teams, you'd like to be 100% on your penalty kill, but that's not going to happen tonight. So 5-on-5 hockey continues. Carlson behind the net, passes it to Anderson. Anderson chips it up off the boards to Burr. Burr's not able to handle it cleanly, but Kitzberger is able to get into the zone, keep it from icing. Jascott to Sanders. Sanders throws the pass into the stick of a St. Paul skater. They throw it in deep, and Vienendahl decides to cover. You were saying?
Oh, just on that last play there, we narrowly avoided getting a call for too many players on the ice. But the player recognized that and did what he needed to do to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah. We're going to definitely give credit to DJ for holding up on playing that puck, whether he recognized it or not. But
right.
that was a good play. Puck gets back to Jascott. Jascott chips it up off the glass, where Everts and Finley are able to forecheck. Puck gets away from Brody, so St. Paul's able to get to the half wall and chip it into the neutral zone. Bounces over Sanders' stick, so Jascott's got to go into the corner and battle with the St. Paul forechecker. Puck comes up to the blue line. St. Paul's able to keep it in, but the physical play continues. Jascott behind the net, tries to get it to Sanders, but St. Paul intercepts it. Puck is kicked up to the half wall.
I think we're still struggling with some wet ice out there a little bit. Gets a little sticky. Pucks don't slide as well. They kind of stop suddenly.
St. Paul in the corner, tries to get it past Sanders. Sanders kicks it into the corner. Brody makes a play to bounce it around the St. Paul skater, but it goes off of his skate and gets put back into the corner. Dawson.
Nice save there by Landon.
Beautiful save by Vienendahl. So that puck just kept on bouncing, ended up on a St. Paul stick. They took a nice low shot, but Vienendahl was able to glove that, cause a whistle, and stop that little bit of chaotic play.
Right. I mean, that was an incredible save. Usually goalies aren't able to get their glove down quite that low on a shot like that, but he was able to do so.
Carlson gets the puck up to Peach. Peach gets through the neutral zone, passes it across, but it goes off the stick of a St. Paul defender out of play. His offensive partner coming down on that was Rhett Carlson, so it was a cross-ice pass. Since it's deflected out of play, the faceoff will come on the glove hand side of the St. Paul goaltender. Faceoff's won by Campbell. Back to Anderson. Anderson over to Carlson. Carlson with the shot that's deflected and bouncing out front, but St. Paul's able to collect it and break out of the zone. They choose to dump it in and chase. Vienendahl gets the puck and pushes it around the corner. St. Paul's able to keep it in. It's sort of bouncing right around the net. Vienendahl steers it aside, but still battling with that wet ice behind the net. St. Paul's able to take advantage. They throw it out front, but it bounces to Carlson. Carlson's able to get it out of the zone. St. Paul does a little D-to-D chip off the boards. They're able to dump it in deep, go for a change, where the Hawks are able to get out of the zone with some speed. Rappel through the neutral. Comes in, sort of felt like a fake shot, but it was able to sneak through, but the puck just squeaks wide. Sanders at the blue line keeps it in. Passes it over to Burr. Burr's not able to collect it, so again, a good battle at neutral zone for the puck. Finally comes to Jascott. Jascott to Sanders. Sanders regroups it, takes a look. He's got time. Throws it back up to Rappel. Rappel tried to get it up to Burr, but it just did not go the direction he wanted to, so the puck gets thrown into the corner from St. Paul. St. Paul throws the puck up high. Quick shot is deflected wide. Rappel gets to the puck, chips it off the zone. St. Paul regrouping in the neutral zone. St. Paul dumps it in. Jascott behind the net. Chips it up off the board, but intercepted by St. Paul. St. Paul gets through the zone, but it's slowed down by Sanders and Rappel. Puck is tipped out to the blue line where a shot is deflected, and Vienendahl's able to easily glove that one for a whistle. So credit to St. Paul. They're coming out. They're skating hard. They're getting pucks to the net. They're out shooting the Hawks 17-12.
Yeah, I kind of like to see us with a little bit more energy here. I feel like we're just a touch casual with our play.
I will emphasize the sarcasm on that casual. Good pinch by St. Paul. Keeps the puck deep into the Hawks zone. Anderson goes around, battles in the corner. Puck leaks behind the net where Carlson reverses the play back to Dawson Vienendahl. His pass through the neutral zone does not connect with Everts, and so it goes the length of the ice for icing.
Not a bad idea. We're trying to stretch the ice there a little bit, get a chance. Just did not connect the dots.
So again, another face-off just on the glove hand side of Vienendahl. Sanders with the puck in the corner, bounces it off, but actually failed to cleanly get that puck across, so now I'll have to regroup. Finlay loses the puck at the half wall, but Sanders collects it on it. Pass goes back up, intercepted, and dumped right back down deep by St. Paul. Sanders loses an edge. So the battle in the corner takes place with Sanders, gets it up to Everts. Everts loses the stick on the play. So a little bit of messy play through the neutral zone, and St. Paul comes up with it. Shot on net, bounces into a danger zone out in front, but Vienendahl Dawson collects it, gets through the neutral zone. Pass comes over to Finlay. Finlay throws it across the front of the goal mouth. Nobody there to tip it in. Now the puck is deflected out of play. And the face-off will take place in the St. Paul's zone. Young man threw the puck back into play, gets a cheer from the crowd. Just under 11 minutes left here in the third. Score 5-2. I'm sure if you would ask the boys, the play has been a little messy the last handful of minutes, so hopefully they can clean that up.
I think they just need to get back to what was causing them success in the beginning of the game.
Right.
Just rekindle that a little bit. We'll be just okay, just fine. Well,
that play just ended up going the length of the ice, so St. Paul gets Another icing. It goes back into their zone and start that all over. Ethan wins the puck battle, but the puck gets stuck in the skates, so St. Paul's able to get out of the zone. Braylon Carlson with a good step up intercepts the puck. And the puck goes deep into the zone where they can regroup, and St. Paul just misses a stretch pass of their own, but that will actually go for icing. So out on the ice again, now we've got Rappel's line with Rappel, Burr, Kitzberger, Jascott, and Sikora back on D. Rappel throws it to the net, steered aside by the St. Paul goaltender. Burr drops it in the corner. A little bit of a give and go. Just not able to get the shot to click. Blocked. Rebound shot. Burr decides to throw it in the corner. Kitzberger has his stick removed from him.
Oh,
The wraparound try is a rebound to Burr. Burr just can't get that puck to get in. Takes a shot a little high and wide. Sikora is able to keep it in deep.
so we're kind of getting back to the style that we were playing at the beginning of the game here, where we're winning those puck races, keeping the pressure on.
Puck gets thrown in. Pass back to Rappel. Rappel with the backhand rebound. Kitzberger, and he gets thrown in onto the top of the goaltender. Goaltender makes a nice save.
Absolutely. There's a couple of good chances there that he was able to keep out.
I like that short side backhand pass right back up to Rappel. He just had to use his backhand for the shot. But that was a good flurry of offense for the Hawks. Finlay wins it cleanly over to Veenendahl. Veenendahl to Anderson. Anderson just fans on the shot. A little bit of a one-on-one with the St. Paul skater and Carlson. Shot ends up going wide, but St. Paul's able to keep the puck in deep, or keep it in the zone. Shot from the point, steered to the corner. St. Paul gets the puck, but the shot is blocked and redirected wide. Veenendahl attempts to bounce pass it to Brody Everts, and that just fails to click, so they will bring it all the way back for an icing. I think the boys were a little bit too excited for a hit right there versus focusing on getting that puck.
Sure.
Hit looked cool, but St. Paul wins a face-off, but they're not able to get a clean shot off, so they dump it deep into the corner. Boy, both teams are losing their edges here today. Rappel's able to get the puck past the blue line, but St. Paul with a poke check brings it back in deep. Jascott bounce pass to Rappel. Rappel gets through the neutral zone. Oh. Puck goes in just a little bit offsides. I think St. Paul is looking for either a penalty, a misconduct, a delay, anything in regards to after the whistle. We push the puck down low. Sounds like the St. Paul coaching staff's given it a little bit of an earful on the missed call, but nevertheless, play will go on. Rhett's able to jump in on that faceoff, throw the puck in on goal, but it's steered aside and now back into our zone.
Good recovery by Jascott there.
Jascott, great recovery, but unfortunately loses the puck where it's bounced in on Veenendahl. But I liked how he used his skate and kept his body under control. Unfortunately, just lost it on the other side of the net. St. Paul wins a face-off, comes back. to the point. Hard shot goes high and wide. The rebound goes off the chest of St. Paul.
And we're the beneficiary of a quick whistle.
Very quick whistle. And I'll be honest, if I was a St. Paul guy, I'd be sitting there jawing at the ref a little bit about that quick whistle. But St. Paul doing a great job putting on the pressure. Puck bounces out front, but it's steered aside. Kept in, thrown at the zone, but it's deflected wide of the net. Finlay takes the puck, able to drag it with his foot out into the zone, and there's a 3-on-2. Fights through the check. Hawks are able to keep control of the puck. Dawson tries to feed it out front, but it's tipped aside, and St. Paul's able to throw it in. Sanders quickly up to Veenendahl. Veenendahl tried to get Finlay streaking through the middle, unable to click. So St. Paul comes down with some speed, but puck ends up in the corner where Jascott leaves it for Veenendahl. Veenendahl up to Burr. Burr fights off a hook, gets it through neutral with Finlay. Finlay attempting to drive the net, throws it out front, just nobody there to take it. However, he took out 2 St. Paul defenders on the way through. Burr fights off several stick checks and gets a shot, but it goes wide. Sanders with the puck over to Jascott. Jascott with a nice low shot, but blocked by the defense of St. Paul, where they're able to chip it out. Jascott just throws the puck in deep, where the forecheck of the Hawks can continue, where Rappel will get the puck, avoid a check, keep the puck deep. Again, the forecheck by the Hawks has been effective, just unable to keep it through. St. Paul fights to get the puck through neutral and now back into the Hawks zone. They throw it out front, but Jascott intercepts it, but the puck rolls off his stick to a St. Paul offensive player, number 15, who takes a shot off of Veenendahl's mask. Good collision on the half wall. Sanders gathers the puck, slows the play down a little bit.
Good job by Bertha to recognize that the St. Paul player was not covering for the net.
St. Paul's able to keep it in the zone, come in, pass out front, deflected high, gathered by Kitzberger. Kitzy tries to bounce it off of the sideboards to the changing Hawk. So again, a good flurry of active playing, and emotions are getting a little bit ramped up, which, you know, you want to see in a hockey game. Get the kids moving, bumping, right, playing hard. Campbell, tasked with winning this faceoff, does so. Anderson wraps it around the boards. Peach trying to get out there, but St. Paul's able to keep it in. Good battle along the boards between St. Paul and Anderson. Peach gathers the puck.
Nice decision there by Peach.
Yep, gets it out to neutral zone. Rat with a good forecheck. St. Paul has to sort of panic with that puck, but they regroup behind their net. Pass through the neutral zone. Meets Sanders and the crew. Slows that offensive play down. Shot from the point is deflected. Chipped out where Peach is going to get to the red line. Absorbs a big hit. Tried to just dump the puck in deep, but I believe it went off players in the St. Paul bench.
Right.
So puck will be faced off here in the neutral zone. Good play by Sanders and the defense team that stepped up, didn't allow that play to generate in front of the net there. St. Paul wins it, decides to dump it in, and they're going to try to dump and chase. Jascott behind the net. Chips it up, just past Everts. St. Paul steps in, takes a shot. They get the rebound, passes it out front, but it's deflected.
That was a great defensive play there, prevent that shot from occurring.
Good stick by Finley. Now they can forecheck and they can cause havoc down low. Good scrum along the boards. Puck pops out to Jascott. Jascott takes a nice low shot. Goaltender's able to see it, gobble it up, and get a whistle. But I like that shot better than just winding it up high. And
Yeah, he stepped to the side there, changed the angle a little bit before releasing. You always want to make it more challenging on the goalie when you're taking a shot, if you can.
anytime it gets through mass amount of players and hits the goaltender or hits the net, that's a win. Puck leaks out into the neutral zone, and Anderson just chips it out of play. So this faceoff will come into the neutral zone. Four minutes, or just over 4 minutes left here in the third period, left in the game. Score still 5-2. St. Paul wins the faceoff. Again, just trying to dump it into the zone. Burr regroups, tries to make a pass, but it's deflected. Comes onto Carlson's sticks. Carlson tries to get through the neutral zone, but loses it on a good stick check. Comes back and regroups behind the net and reverses traffic. Creates some time and space. Good cross ice pass to Burr. Burr finds an opening. He's going to be able to split the D, but he loses the handle of the puck. Attempts to throw it out front, but not able to make that click. St. Paul comes down on its own speed. Jascott pushing the player to the outside. Shot harmlessly on Veenendahl. Pass to the cross, weak side defense. Defense shoots wide into the corner. Dawson throws it up. However, it did tip off a Burr stick, but it was on the Hawk side of center ice, so it's still considered an icing.
Looks like St. Paul's pulling their goalie here. 3 minutes to go. Or maybe they're just, no, he's coming off.
I like that coach already. Again, you're down 3 goals. What's the old? Ref just blew the surprise. But what's that? You know, for every minute you're behind, you know, pull the goalie. Well, they're 3 goals behind, so 3 minutes left in the game. They're going to work on that. We're not going to win if we swipe at the puck. So got away with one there where St. Paul was able to take that shot, but Veenendahl steers it aside. So now St. Paul's on the exterior. Puck goes into the corner. Sanders in the back, tries to slow down the play, but puck up high, gets through. Quick shot wide. St. Paul trying to keep control of the puck, doing a little bit of dancing, but Hawks are doing a good job keeping the puck to the outside. Sanders in the corner providing some pressure. Puck comes up high. Peach and Campbell on the half wall trying to keep that puck from getting to the middle for a shot. Shot comes from the top of the circle, deflected just wide. Oh, just missed an opportunity to get out of the zone.
Yeah, this line's a little bit fatigued now. They've been out there for over a minute.
The 6-on-5. St. Paul doing a great job keeping the puck in the zone. Puck leaks out front. Sharp angled shot, steered away. Still in the corner where Jascott battles with it. St. Paul just cycling it.
Nothing really open in the middle for him, though.
Nope. Battles out front are being won. Puck comes to Owen Peach. Owen Peach takes a shot just wide, which is going to be an icing, but at this level, they get to change.
That's
so
right.
It's a win. All right, so 1 minute, 24 seconds left in the third period, left in the game. Goalie is still pulled for St. Paul. Face off on the glove hand side of Landon Veenendahl. Dawson wins it back to Carlson. Carlson wraps it around the boards. St. Paul's going to keep it in. Ian Finley does a great job along the half wall, just can't get it past the defender. but they're having to panic with the puck. Now the puck bounces on the stick of St. Paul, but it's steered to the side.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
St. Paul passes over top of the circle, and it's just steered aside by Veenendahl. This one will get to Ian Finlay. That'll bounce over the player, and a battle out in neutral zone will take place. Puck is pushed into the corner where St. Paul's doing everything they can to get pucks to the front of the net. Big hit in the corner. 30 seconds left in the game. Puck is thrown out front, and St. Paul's not able to keep it into the zone. Now they just lost possession of it, scrambling a little bit to get it out of their zone. 20 seconds left in the game here. St. Paul still enters the zone. Again, Hawks are doing a good job plugging up the middle, and as soon as I say that, it bounces to an open St. Paul player who makes no mistake and drills it home. So,
Yeah, that'll happen. If you got 5 of us and 6 of them, it's bound to...
somebody's going to be open. All right, nuts. Well, 7 seconds left in the game. St. Paul doing their best to gain some momentum, but the score is still 5-3. Hawks are going to leave this game with the W, but I'm sure they're not happy with the unanswered goals.
Scoring for St. Paul at 16:53 in the third period. Number 16, Gavin Olson.
Shot from the neutral zone and on Veenendahl. And just like that, 5-3 victory for the Hawks. I'm not sure. You can tell me if it was better than the Hurricanes game on Tuesday. But never can be too upset with the W.
No, and it's always satisfying, of course, to beat a team from across the river. So
For sure. Well, that's all for us tonight. Hope everybody has a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.
all right, have a great one, everybody.